to sit and watch the Diddy documentary, and I just have a few things that I want to point out. We'll make this really quick because I don't have a whole lot of time. Um, but very interesting. I think it was well put together. I think 50 did his thing. So, you know, very well put together. This is on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So make sure that y'all tap in and trying to get everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, one of the things that I want to point out is the control of music. That he D in that era kind of controlled what we listened to. Like one of the producers said, Diddy was almost like the gatekeeper. He gave us Jodeci, he gave us Mary J. Blige um, early on. But the thing that I realized, or the thing that I got out of it, is like when he wanted their careers to stop, when he wanted their careers to slow down, he was in control of slowing down their careers. So we couldn't get more of their music. It almost seemed like he was more or less like no one could be bigger than him. Now, I didn't really understand why he, didn't jump on Jodeci's music like that and be in front. I think at that time he was more trying to be behind the scenes. That's way the record label instructed him to be, because he did that through someone else. So they basically made sure that he stood back and did, the work behind the scenes. But as soon as he got on his own with not so much as well, even with Craig Mack, he jumped in a bunch of Craig Mack videos, and then jumping into Biggie videos, and since then 112, Danity Kane, Dirty Money. I mean, he was in everything after that. So to me, it was like he wanted to be the star, and anytime somebody was getting bigger than him, outshine him, he had to cut him off. He had to get rid of him, so to speak. You see so many artists that were behind him who are no longer here today. And I pointed that out before, like Andre Farrell, um, Heavy D, um, Kim, all of these people who he started with are no longer here today, and it's just him. That's definitely something that needs to be looked into, especially if he was involved in getting rid of artists like Biggie or Tupac. One of his mentors, Clyde Davis, or his mentor, Clyde Davis, who helped him start Bad Boy, has a reputation of getting rid of artists because, in their mind, they make more money with the artist being dead than the artist actually being here. That was true with Whitney Houston. That was true with Prince. That was true with TLC, Left Eye for TLC, all under Clive Davis in some aspect or another. And after their death, they made way more money with them not being here than being here. So that's a shady part of the music industry that I think definitely needs to be looked into and needs to be um, just investigated more. We have all of these black great artists who demise was just crazy. Just one day they're here, the next day they're gone, and it's just like, we don't even take a second look to see what really went down, what happened. And I think that's crazy. The cover up is crazy, but with Diddy being exposed and things like that, maybe having something to do with, not maybe having something to do with Tupac's murder, putting a bounty on his head, that's definitely gonna ramp people up to get that money. That's going to ramp them up to get that money. And then taking Biggie into territory where he knew that it wasn't time for him to be in an area like that, because his life was in danger with Tupac just being taken out. There's so much love from Tupac. I don't care whose side you was on, whether it was Biggie's side or whether it's Tupac's side. Um, we wanted to hear more music from these artists. That was the biggest thing. We wanted to hear more music from these artists. I just think the really sad and sick thing is, I think someone got into Puffy's ear at the time, Craig Mack, and Biggie was becoming a star, and him dancing right beside him, he felt like he could be the star too. He could outshine them as long as he got rid of them and took them out and just have somebody write my lyrics, and I could just get on stage and perform. I'm not an artist. I don't have any talent. I don't have any skill, but if I take these artists out, then I could be the one that everybody's looking for because I'm already given um, credit from being around these artists. So these artists have already given me street cred that I don't have. So, the work has been laid out. You got producers like JD. Sometimes JD was in the song with him singing or rapping. Sometimes he's in the song with him introducing his name. This you already know what it is, but he never tried to step in front of the artist and be as big as the artist. No matter what happened, he always stayed behind the scenes and just stayed as the artist. That's something that I seen that Diddy, being thirsty, decided that I could be the biggest artist. Let me step into the limelight. As long as I can get rid of these guys, then it can be all about me. Because like his mentor told him, he said like it has to be about you first before the artist. And I thought that was really crazy that they felt like that. That they had to be before the artist. So therefore, as long as I keep the artist broke and starving and begging me for money, then I can be the man. And um, that was very crazy. Those are some takes that I got from the movie. I just think that we were because that was our generation of music, and yes, we did get a lot of good music, but there could have been a lot more music from some of these artists. Black Rob, Craig Mack. We could have got a lot more. 112, Total. They came out with that hot CD. I think maybe one or two hot CDs, but there could have been like three or four great CDs. So with those songs being absent, that could have been the demise of hip hop. That could have been the demise of R&B. The fact that we no longer have those songs available to us. Cassie, she dropped a hot song and was working on a lot of good music, but because of Diddy and his aspirations, what he had for her, he stopped a lot of that music from uh, even coming out. So we were never able to hear the rest of Cassie's catalog. So there's a lot that goes into that with the ego trip thing. I know same thing with like Jay Z. If an artist became bigger than him or Beyonce, then their career got stifled. They pulled back their career, whether it was pulling back money, firing them, whatever the case may be. They never allow people to get big as them, even though they had the talent to be as big as a Beyonce, as big as Jay Z. But because of their greed and them wanting to be who we listen to, all we listen to, then I feel like uh, our music was narrowed down. We got a lot of great music, but it could have been a lot more great music. And so now it's just narrowed down to them picking and choosing who we get to listen to, when we get to listen to that music. So even though, like I said, it was a good run, it was a good generation, I felt like it could have been better. It could have been way better to where we would have been on top of the music industry forever. But because of greedy people stopping the train, so to speak, then we were denied some really great legends, some really great music, inspirational music, love music, all of that. We were denied it because of this man's ego. So that's the take that I got out of it. Let me know what you think about it. If you saw it, if you thought it was a great documentary, if you thought it was well put together, if you thought it was bogus for him to do that, whatever you think, just let me know.